Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So today, we will start from where we left. It is fifth chapter of the third canto, fourth sloka. Tat sadhu varya dishavatma samnaha samradhito bhagavan yena pumsam hridi sthito yacchati bhakti pute jnanam sa tatvadi gamam puranam. Translation. Therefore, O great sage, please give me instructions on transcendental devotional service of the Lord, so that he who is situated in the heart of everyone can be pleased to impart from within knowledge of absolute truth in terms of the ancient Vedic principles delivered only to those who are purified by the process of devotional service. So here, just before this, we saw how Vidura was asking questions even for the common people, for the benefit of common people, where he was telling about people are constantly engaged in fruitive activities, and then they are not getting any tiredness by doing that, or they are they are frustrated because of that. Still, they are not stopping. So, what is the solution for this? And then further, he's speaking, and he's still addressing Maitreya Rishi, like, what should be done and how should be done and things like that. So it's, and also like other aspects to, he's requesting him to instruct on the transcendental devotional service of the Lord and things like that. So let's see the purport. As already explained in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the absolute truth is realized in three different phases, although they are one and the same in terms of the knower's capacity to understand. Um, so, the most capable transcendentalist is the pure devotee of the Lord, who is without any tinge of fruitive actions or philosophical speculation. By devotional service, only does one's heart become completely purified from all material coverings like karma, jnana, and yoga. Only in such a purified stage does the Lord, who is seated in everyone's heart with the individual soul, give instruction. Give instructions so that the devotee can reach the ultimate destination of going back home, back to Godhead. So this is nicely Prabhupada is putting here, that there are different phases of realization, that is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and it's the same entity that we are actually pointing to. So the same absolute truth, different people know it, know that absolute truth according to their capacity. So the person who is having less capacity to understand, he understands the Lord as Brahman, and a person who is having the best capacity to understand, he understands the Lord as Bhagavan, right? And it is also mentioned here that only by devotional service we can get out of the contamination of karma, jnana, and yoga. So when we get cleaned of all these contaminations, karma, jnana, and yoga, then we can come to the point of devotional service. Otherwise, if there is contamination is there, then the vision becomes blocked. Like, for example, if you are looking through a glass or a magnifying glass, and if the glass has some dust particles over there, so then your vision also will be obstructed. Or even if you have a spectacles, if there is dust particles in the spectacles, no, your vision will be obstructed. So in the same way, this karma, jnana, and yoga are the this ones means are the contaminations which can actually obstruct our vision to see the Lord. And that is why somebody may see the Lord as Brahman, somebody may see the Lord as Paramatma. That means there is some contamination is there. He is not able to see the Lord clearly. So, by the process of bhakti, a person's heart becomes completely purified. And like when he practices the process of bhakti, he will also emerge to be a pure devotee of the Lord. And if he becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, fully cleansed of all the anarthas in the heart, so then the Lord directly gives instructions, from within the heart to the individual soul, so that he can what is that he can reach back to the spiritual world, right? This practice can help the neophyte devotee to rise to the stage of raga bhakti. Raga means attraction, raga bhakti. So that is like very high level of devotional service, where a person is like it's more than Krishna prem. So it is a very very high level of devotion. So, but then it is possible just by doing the very same activity that we are doing, that is chanting the names of the Lord and studying the Srimad Bhagavatam and constantly being engaged in the service of the Lord. So by doing so, we can actually we can come to the stage of Raga Bhakti, right? And in which the Lord responds from within as Chaitya Guru. So sometimes people say like, no, Lord is speaking to me and Lord is giving directions and things like that. Yeah, Lord is giving directions, but how much we are able to understand? So we will be able to understand the Lord's directions perfectly only at a very higher level. No, in our level, we will never be able to understand the Lord's directions properly. We will always be the contaminated mind and the senses. They will infiltrate their own ideas into the system. So we will not be able to hear the voice of the Supreme Lord clearly. No. So the Lord is there as Chaitya Guru, as the spiritual master to all of us, as the Paramatma. He is sitting in the heart. So this Chaitya Guru means like the Lord who sits in the heart. So he gives instructions from within. But to sense that instruction, we need to be advanced in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we cannot sense the instructions. So it is very important point, right? So we should not think that the Lord is guiding me from within, so I don't need any guidance. So that will be foolish. So we have to take external guidance till the time we come to the highest level of Krishna consciousness, right? Okay, so the Lord responds from within as Chaitya Guru or the spiritual master or super consciousness. All transcendentalists, other than devotees make no distinction between the individual soul and super soul, because they miscalculate the super consciousness and the individual consciousness to be one and the same. So, we saw yesterday in the chart that how the jnani and yogi, no, they don't have a clear conception of the Supreme Lord. They have an idea that, for a jnani, they have an idea that there exists a soul, that is something different from matter. So that much they know. So for them, like super soul and the soul, everything is same. Because they have not come to that level of clarity where no super soul and the individual soul are different. And yogi, he may understand that there is a super soul, but then he understands it very very less in terms of saying that it's only in the managerial capacity. The Lord is managing everything nicely. He is providing for all the living entities and things like that. So he will not understand better than that. So that is a problem with the yogis. So like in this way, like here Prabhupada is mentioning, all transcendentalists other than the devotees make no distinction between individual soul and the super soul, because they miscalculate the super consciousness and individual consciousness to be one and the same. So for them, Paramatma and the Atma both are same, because they don't have much clarity in the spiritual in the spiritual domain. Okay, such miscalculations by the non-devotees makes them unfit to receive any direction from within, and therefore they are bereft of the direct cooperation of the Lord. So why they don't receive the directions from the Lord? Because they are not devotees. So they are considering Lord and the individual soul to be one and the same. So they like, to them the Lord doesn't speak. You know, after many, many births, when such a non-dualist comes to the senses, comes to sense that the Lord is worshipable and that the devotee is simultaneously one with and different from the Lord, then only can he surrender unto the Lord Vasudev. Right? So this is a very important thing. No, um, like Bahunam Janmanam Ante, after many, many births, no, Jnanavam Mam Prapadyate, Vasudevam Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So Prabhupada is actually explaining that sloka only here. After many, many births, such non-dualists, that means jnanis, no, come to sense that the Lord is worshipable. No, that is one point. And that the devotee is simultaneously one with and different from the Lord. So we are part and parcel of the Lord, right? So we are part and parcel of the Lord. So no, we have essentially all the qualities of the Lord. So in that way, we are one with the Lord, and we are different from the Lord in the way of the Lord is present everywhere. The Lord is all pervasive. The Lord is omniscient. Lord knows everything that is happening in the whole creation. And Lord can be, like Lord has so many wonderful qualities, and he's the ultimate controller of everything, and we are not controller of anything. So in that way, we are different from the Lord. So we are spirit, the Lord is spirit. So no, in that way we are one with the Lord, and we are different, and the Lord is different in terms of the capacities and the extent to which our qualities can be manifest. So in that way, like a person comes to understand that to surrender unto Vasudev, no, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Okay, so pure devotional service begins from that point. When a person comes to this point, that is when the pure devotional service starts. The process of understanding the absolute truth adopted by the misguided non-dualist is very difficult, whereas the devotee's way of understanding the absolute truth comes directly from the Lord, who is pleased by devotional service. Right? So this is the process of understanding the absolute truth adopted by the misguided non-dualist is very difficult. Kleshodikattarastesham abhyakta shakta chetasam. Right? Whereas devotee's way of understanding the absolute truth, susukam kartam avyayam. So it is very, very happily done. Why? Because a non-dualist or a jnani, he has to understand the Lord by his own endeavor. And it's very, very troublesome, in that way. So, but the devotee, he just surrenders to the Lord and Lord reveals it to him. So when the Lord reveals the things to the devotee, it becomes very, very easy for him to understand. Right? So that's the easiest thing, and that's the only way also. So how can any small living entity can understand about the absolute truth? So until unless the absolute truth reveals himself. So Prabhupada gives a nice example in this connection. He tells that if somebody wants to know my bank balance and my means my whereabouts and things like that and all, so they can keep on speculating. Probably he has so much of money in his bank and so much of this one. So it may come out true or it may not come out true. But then if they ask, if they ask, and if I reveal this is what is my bank balance, this is what is my personal whereabouts and things like that, it's very easy to understand. So in the same way, now jnanis, they are trying to understand about Krishna, absolute truth, and they are doing it on their own speculation, and it will take years and years, and there is no guarantee that they will come to a conclusion. But if a devotee of the Lord, he is surrendering unto the Lord, and he's telling, please reveal yourself unto me, my Lord. No, I just want to surrender to you. So then the Lord is very happy. So he's revealing. No, he's telling that, this Goloka Vrindavan is my Dham, and all the opulences of the spiritual world, everything the Lord is ready to reveal it to us. And it's very, very easy process, right? So that's the whole point of difference between devotional service and the other processes, especially the jnana that has been mentioned here. Okay. On behalf of many neophyte devotees, Vidura, at the very first instance, inquires from Maitreya about the path of devotional service by which the Lord who is seated within the heart can be pleased. This is the crux of the whole matter. If we have to, whatever we have to do, like whatever things that we are trying to do in the devotional service, our goal is finally to attain the Lord. And how it can be attained? Only by pleasing the Lord. If the Lord is pleased, the Lord will give himself to us. No, that is the key aspect. How to please the Lord? No, that's the key aspect. So that's the point Vidura is asking here. Okay, text 5. Karoti karmani kritavataro yanyatmatantro bhagavamstrayad hishya hishaha yatha sasarjagra idam nirihaha samsthapya vrittim jagato vidatte. O great sage, kindly narrate how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is independent, desireless Lord of the three worlds, and the controller of all energies, accept incarnations and create the cosmic manifestation with perfectly arranged regulative principles for its maintenance. So this is a very nice question. The Lord is independent and desireless. No, means he doesn't have any material desires. So he is completely independent, Swarat, and he doesn't have natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. So he doesn't have any prescribed duty to be performed. So no boss over him, and no task that no he has to do this task. Otherwise, no, his position as Bhagavan will be taken off. Nothing of that sort is there for him. Still, why does he take incarnations? Why does he make this universe? Why does he manage everything so meticulously? And no, what's the purpose? No, why? What is the impetus for him to do all these things? So that's a very nice question. Okay, purport. Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead from whom the three creative incarnations, namely the Purusha avatars. So Purusha avatar, Purusha means immediately we should understand three Vishnus, no? Purusha avatar. So like namely three Vishnus have come, that is Karanarnavashayi or Karana Udakashayi, it is mentioned, and then Garbha Udakashayi Vishnu, and then Shira Udakashayi Vishnu, Shira Udakashayi Vishnu, right? So this is Karana Udakashayi Vishnu means the Vishnu who lies down in the Karana ocean, or Mahavishnu. And Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is the soul of one entire universe. So from Mahavishnu comes innumerable universes. Yekaranarnava jale bhajatim smayoga nidram ananta jagadanda soromakupa. Vishnur Mahan Sai Haisha Kala Vishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So this Karanarnavashayi or Mahavishnu, just by his Yoga Nidra, he creates innumerable universes, and in each one of the universes, he expands and enters as the super soul of the universe. And that expansion or that entrance into each of the universe is done by Garbha Udakashayi Vishnu. So in each and every one of the universe, there is one Garbha Udakashayi Vishnu is there. So Garbha Udakashayi Vishnu, what does he do? He again, from his navel comes the lotus flower in which Lord Brahma takes birth. Then Shira Udakashayi Vishnu is in the pole star or Dhruva Nakshatra, and there is the milk ocean. And this in the milk ocean, so this Shira Udakashayi Vishnu takes us Shayana. And he is the Paramatma of all the living entities. No, he is the Paramatma who is present in each and every atom and who is present in every living entity's heart. Right? So in this way, we can understand these three Vishnus. So Krishna expands into these different forms, who are called as Purusha avatars. Purusha avatar means these three Vishnus. And the whole material creation is conducted by the three Purushas in successive stages under the external energy of the Lord, and thus material nature is controlled by him. So we see that all the Paramatma is the one who is controlling everything within the whole material universe. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridadesha Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani. Brahmayan means like wandering. So like movements. Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani. Every living entity's wanderings are perfectly controlled by this one Paramatma. So Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani. So he controls the movements of all the living entities, and then he controls the three modes of nature. He controls the Mata Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. He controls the knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness of each and every living entity. So everything is perfectly controlled by these Purushas, no Purusha avatars, or the three Vishnus. No, they are the controllers of this material world, right? And okay. So they have control in successive stages under the external energy of the Lord, and thus material nature is controlled by him. Thinking material nature to be independent is like seeking milk from the nipple like bags of on the neck of a goat. The Lord is independent and desireless. He does not create the material world for his own satisfaction as we create our household affairs to fulfill our material desires. Actually, the material world is created for the illusory enjoyment of the conditioned souls who have been against the transcendental service of the Lord since time immemorial. So this world is created only for us. No, we are the cause of this world, because no, if we don't have material desires, there is no purpose of this world. We will all be there in Vaikuntha. There is no reason why this world has to be created, and it is definitely not for the pleasure of the Lord. No, this world is created for the illusory enjoyment of the conditioned soul. So we want that, so the Lord has created and given it to us. But the material universes are full in themselves. There is no scarcity for maintenance in the material world. Because of their poor fund of knowledge, the materialists are disturbed when there is an apparent increase of population on the earth. Whether there is a living being on the earth, so whenever there is a living being on the earth, however, his subsistence is immediately arranged by the Lord. The other species of living entities who far outnumber human society are never disturbed for maintenance. They are never seen dying of starvation. It is only human society that is disturbed about the food situation, and to cover up the real fact of administrative mismanagement, take shelter in the plea that the population is excessively increasing. If there is any scarcity in the world, it is the scarcity of God consciousness. Otherwise, by the grace of the Lord, there is no scarcity of anything. It's a very, very powerful statement, Prabhupada is making. So, amidst in the current situation, we have so many farmers committing suicide because of lack of water, lack of rainfall, dry land, and things like that. So, how can Srila Prabhupada make such a statement where he says that there is no scarcity at all? No, in front of our eyes, we are seeing that people are dying out of food scarcity and things like that. So, how can such a statement be made? And it is mentioned there is only one scarcity, that is God consciousness. Otherwise, by the grace of the Lord, there is no scarcity of anything. So, if we have our children and we care for them and we provide for their meals, so will the Lord be so cruel that he's claiming that all of us to be his children and he's not providing for our meals? No, is it so? Like no, that is something to be thought of. So he is merciful. He is such an amazing personality, and he has provided for every living entity. It is only the mismanagement of the living entities that they have to go through this situation, right? So if we have created starvation for somebody, then we also have to be starved. No, that's a punishment that is given. And then Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that annad bhavati bhutani parjanya anna sambhavat yagyat bhavati parjanya yajna karma samudbhava. So like by food grains the living entities subsist, and food grains comes because of rains, and rains comes because of the yajnat bhavati parjanya. So by performing yajna, by performing the activities which are meant to please the Lord, we can bring about rains and there can be no scarcity. Even otherwise, whatever is provided by the Lord, no, we have complete mismanagement of it. No, we have a complete what is that wrong way of dealing with things of this world. There are so many countries which produce a lot of food grains, but they don't share with others, right? And there are so many countries who are starving, so they are continue to starve. So it's complete mismanagement of God's properties, right? So first of all, we don't do yajna, so that creates some level of scarcity. And then we are sinful also. We have to undergo some kind of punishments. So that is also one of the reasons. So but if you search out the root of everything, all problem is because of lack of God consciousness. If people become God conscious, automatically there will be sufficient rains, automatically there will be sufficient grains, and everything that is needed will be taken care of, right? So, but if people are not Krishna conscious, then there is needs to be a lot of scarcity. No, that's the natural consequence. In the fourth canto of Bhagavatam, we will study this, the pastime of King Vena. So Vena was a very, very cruel king, no, very atrocious, cruel king, and he doesn't want God consciousness in his kingdom. And in fact, he wanted everybody to worship him. Like, no, he should be worshipped as the greatest personality, and he wanted that. And like because of that, the whole because of this mismanagement, the whole natural resources have got depleted. And then later, so the next king who comes is Prithu Maharaj, and he establishes an amazing dharmic government, and all the natural resources are again back into force. No, again the rains have started come and grains have started to come, and the natural resources like minerals and gems and emeralds and all those things started flourishing, right? So that's the amazing aspect. No, so in India, the very same India had so much of wealth, during the kingdom of Vijayanagar. So we are there in Karnataka, like we are trying to, we see that many amazing kings were there. So during the Vijayanagar kings, it is mentioned, they used to have in the marketplace, they used to have very costly and precious gems. They used to be traded like ordinary sabji, no, ordinary vegetables. So that was the opulence, that was the no richness that was there. No, where are those riches? Because of lack of God consciousness, no, everything we have lost. Somebody may say, okay, foreigners came and they stole and went, so but what's the problem in producing more? So because we are lacking in God consciousness, so there will be no always scarcity. The scarcity is because of the lack of God consciousness. Okay, text 6. Yata punasva kaidam niveshya sete guhayam sanivritta vrittihi yogeshvara dishvara etad anupravishto bahuda yatasit. He lies down on his own heart, spread in the form of the sky, and thus placing the whole creation in that space. He expands himself into many living entities, which are manifested as different species of life. He does not have to endeavor for his maintenance because he is the master of all mystic powers and the proprietor of everything. Thus, he is distinct from the living entities. Right? So it's very amazing. This one, the Lord Krishna, the Arjuna like glorifies Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, says, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. Right? So, Param Brahma and Param Dhamma. Param Dhamma means what? He is the ultimate resting place of everything. Dhamma means a resting place, or a means or a house or a resting place is called a dham. No, so or the Lord's abode is also called as dham. So Lord's the pilgrimage places like where Lord's pastimes have happened. So we call that as dham. Dham means a place where it can rest, something. And the pilgrimage places are like the resting places of the Lord. So or the places where the Lord resided and did his activities. So it is called as dhama. Or the deity of the Lord is present. So it is called as dhama. Right? So Param Dhamma, so he is the ultimate resting place of everything that is there in the whole creation. So that means the entire expanse of everything that is there is within the Supreme Lord. He is the Param Dhamma. So that was shown, when Krishna ate the mud, and Mother Yashoda wanted to see within the mouth of Krishna, like to prove that he has eaten the mud. But then when she saw the entire universe, entire creation, both material and spiritual worlds. Everything was there within the mouth of Krishna. So that is the meaning of the word Paramdhama. So it is mentioned here, he lies down on his own heart, spread in the form of the sky. The sky, the sky which is extending to the material and spiritual worlds. So this sky is nothing but the Lord's existential potency. It is the Dharma on which like everything is resting. right? So it's ultimately like the sky is nothing but his own heart, the Supreme Lord's own heart. And placing the whole creation in that space, he expands himself into many living entities which are manifested as different species of life. So now we all know that Mamai Vamsha Jiva Bhuta, Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So no, who are we? We are all living entities. And what is our identity? Mamaiva Amsha. Krishna is telling Mama Eva Amsha. So all of us are Krishna's Amsha, or Krishna's parts and parcels. So he expands himself into many living entities like us, and which are manifested as different species of life. So many living entities of different species of life are there, right? And then he does not have to endeavor for his maintenance. No, he's not in search of job or something like that. No, how will he maintain himself? So because he is master of all mystic powers and he is proprietor of everything that exists, so he doesn't need any maintenance. And he is Atmarama. He's like he takes pleasure from within. He doesn't require anything external to give him pleasure. So he's like fully satisfied. Atma Arama. So he's fully satisfied by himself, right? Thus, he is distinct from the living entities. No, it's very, very different from all of us. Okay, purport. The question regarding creation, maintenance, and destruction, which are mentioned in many parts of Srimad Bhagavatam, are in relation to different millenniums, that is kalpas, and therefore they are differently described by different authorities when questioned by different students. Okay, there is no difference regarding the creative principle and Lord's control over them. Yet there are some difference in the minute details because of different kalpas. Now, this is called as kalpa beda. No, so because it is not like stereotyped thing. Every kalpa, the same thing will happen. No, the principle is same, but then it is quite dynamic. Like it may happen in a little different way. So it's completely dynamic over there. So the gigantic sky in the material body of the Lord, called the Virata Rupa, and all material creations are resting on the sky or the heart of the Lord. Therefore, beginning from the sky, the first material manifestation to the gross vision down to the earth, everything is called Brahman. Sarvam Kala Vidam Brahma. So everything that exists is Brahma. Like Brahma means till now we were understanding it is soul or spirit or the Supreme Lord. No, how can we say like everything that exists is Brahman? No, it is mentioned that let's just read one sentence before. Therefore, beginning from the sky, the first material element to the gross vision down to the earth, everything is called Brahman. Now, why it is called Brahman? So it is called Brahman because everything is emanating from the Lord. Bhumi rapo analo vayo kammano buddhirevacha ahankara mitiyam me binna prakriti rashtada. And then aparyayamitastvanyam prakritim viddhime param jiva bhuta mahabaho edam daryate jagat. So everything that exists is Lord's energy, Lord and Lord's energy. So if Lord is Brahman, Lord's energy is also called as Brahman. So the living entities are called as the Jiva Brahman, and the material nature is called as the Mahat Brahman. No, Tasham Brahma Mahat Yonir. So Krishna mentions this thing in Bhagavad Gita. So that is Mahat Brahman means the material nature. So in one sense, Sarvam Kala Vidam Brahma, everything that exists is Brahma, right? So everything that exists is the Supreme Lord. No, Lord or his energies. That's the ultimate this one. And the energies are inseparable from the Lord. So we can never be separated from the Lord. No, we as the living entities can never be separated from the Lord. Even the material nature, which is called as Binna Prakriti, which is called as the separated energy, still the material nature cannot exist without the existence of the Lord. No, it is dependent entity, energy of the Lord. No, it is little far separated from the Lord, but it also has its connection to the Lord. Right. So without connection to the Lord, nothing can exist. So, in fact, in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, in the 2, 9, 32, 33, like, we were discussing that aspect of illusion. The Lord categorically says that everything is connected to me. And if you see something is not connected to me, then you should understand you are in illusion, right? So that's illusion. So something I'm thinking that it is not connected to the Lord, then I'm in illusion, right? So that's why Sarvam Kala Vidam Brahma. Everything that exists is Brahma. Everything that exists is Lord or his energies. Okay, so there is nothing but Lord, and he is one without a second. Means He is one without a second. No, ekam eva advitiyad. No, that is the Vedanta Sutra, which no Prabhupada is mentioning. There is nothing but the Lord. Ekam eva. There is only one. Right? Advitiyad. There is no second entity that is there. So everything that exists in the whole creation is one entity. That is Krishna. No, Krishna and his energies. So why Krishna and energies? Like as we had many times discussed, like if fire is there, fire, heat and light is part and parcel of the fire. So now if you're sitting and then suddenly you feel some heat behind, so you'll say, okay, it's like my chair is caught up on fire or something like that. So that's why I'm getting heat. So why can't I think in any other way? Like why heat means it's fire only. So that is the nature. So heat means it is fire. So it cannot be separated. No, fire means heat, heat means fire. So in the same way, the Lord means we living entities are there, the material nature are there. And if the material nature and we are there, there is Lord. No, it is so like inseparable. So that is why it is mentioned, no, ekameva advitya. There is nothing but Lord, and He is one without a second. No, He is He is the only one entity that exists in the entire creation. Nothing else apart from the Lord is there. Right? So that is what is mentioned as Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanamam Mam Prapadyate Vasudevam Sarvamiti. No, everything that exists is nothing but the Lord, no, and nothing else that exists apart from the Lord in the entire creation. Right? So that's the point of this one. So it takes Bahunam Janmanamante. It takes many, many lifetimes for a person to come to this understanding. And no jnanamam mam prapadyate, right? So Vasudeva Sarvamati, some Mahatma, Krishna is telling that that person is a Mahatma who can understand this thing. Okay, so the living entities are the superior energies, whereas the matter is the inferior energy. And the combination of these energies bring about the manifestation of this material world, which is the heart of the Lord. Right? So let's continue. Text 7. क्रीडन् विदत्ते द्विजगोसुराणां क्षेमाय कर्माणि अवतारभेदैः मनो न तृप्यत्य अपि शृण्वतां नः श्लोकमौलेश्चरितामृतानि. You may narrate also about the auspicious characteristics of the Lord in his different incarnations for the welfare of the twice born, the cows, and the demigods. Our minds are never satisfied completely, although we continuously hear of his transcendental activities. Now, this is a position of a devotee. Like he just simply wants to keep hearing the activities of the Lord. Okay, so purport: the Lord appears in this universe in different incarnations like Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, and he manifests his different transcendental activities for the welfare of twice born, the cows, and the demigods. So it is mentioned, Ite Cham Sakala Pumsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indirari Vakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. So he always favors the demigods. No, he is also called as Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. No, he is called as the friend of the or the protector or the nourisher of the brahmanas and the cows, right? So these are all the natural inclinations of the Lord, because these are all entities which are pure in its nature and they are very dear to the Lord. Okay, the Lord is directly concerned with the twice born or civilized men. A civilized man is one who has taken his birth twice. How can a person take his birth twice? So a living entity takes birth in this mundane world due to the union of male and female. So that's the first birth. A human being is born due to the union of father and mother. But a civilized human being has another birth by contact with a spiritual master who becomes the actual father. The father and mother of the material body are so only in one birth, but in the next birth the father and mother may be different couple. But the bona fide spiritual master, as the representative of the Lord, is the eternal father, because the spiritual master has the responsibility to lead the disciple to spiritual salvation or the ultimate goal of life. Therefore, a civilized man must be twice born, otherwise he is no more than the lower animals, right? So until unless a person takes a spiritual master, and be guided in the spiritual path, and goes back to the spiritual world, or endeavors to goes back to the spiritual world, so he is not called a civilized man, right? So twice born people are called as civilized man, and Krishna comes for their purpose. No, the cow is the most important animal for developing the human body to perfection. The body can be maintained by any kind of foodstuff, but cow's milk is particularly essential for developing the finer tissues of human brain so that one can understand the intricacies of transcendental knowledge. A civilized man is expected to live on foodstuffs comprising fruits, vegetables, grain, sugar, and milk. The bull helps in agriculture process of producing grains, etc. And thus, in one sense, the bull is the father of humankind, whereas the cow is the mother, for she supplies milk to human society. As civilized man is therefore expected to give all protection to the bulls and cows. Right? Okay. The demigods, or the living entities who live in the higher planets, are far superior to human beings. Since they have better arrangements for living conditions, they live far more luxuriously than human beings. Yet they are all devotees of the Lord. The Lord incarnates in different forms, such as those of a fish, a tortoise, a hog, and combined lion and man, just to give protection to civilized man, the cow, and the demigods, who are directly responsible for the regulative life of progressive self-realization. So these entities are very, very important. If Brahmanas are there, they will preach the message of Krishna consciousness. And if cow is there, it can supply the most sublime form of the energetic food, that is the milk, and which can also help us in spiritual progress. And then the demigods, no, they are all devotees of the Lord, and they are engaged in the service directly given by the Lord in the universal administration. Okay, so the whole system of the material creation is planned so that the conditioned soul may have the opportunity for self realization. One who takes advantage of such an arrangement is called a demigod or civilized man. The cow is meant to help maintain such high standard of living. The Lord's pastimes for protection of the twice born civilized men, the cows, and the demigods are all transcendental. A human being is inclined to hear good narrations and stories, and therefore there are so many books, magazines, and newspapers on the market to satisfy the interest of the developed soul. But the pleasure in such literature, after it is read once, becomes stale, and people do not take any interest in reading such literature repeatedly. In fact, newspapers are read for less than an hour and then thrown into the dustbin as rubbish. The case is similar with all other mundane literatures. But the beauty of the transcendental literatures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is that they never become old. Very powerful statement. No, so newspapers and all other informations that we get, they have to be read and thrown as rubbish. But these books, which are transcendental literatures, we cherish them. We in fact offer worship to these books, and then we read them throughout our life, and then generation after generation. It never becomes stale. No, it never becomes old. Okay. They have been read in the world by civilized men for at least 5,000 years, and they have never become old. They are ever fresh to the learned scholars and devotees. And even by daily repetition of the verses of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no satiation for devotees like Vidura. Vidura might have heard the pastimes of the Lord many, many times before he met Maitreya, but still he wanted the same narrations to be repeated because he was never satiated by hearing them. That is the transcendental nature of Lord's glorious pastimes. Okay, so we will pause here. And there were some questions, so you can put down the questions now, so we can discuss them and we can end the session. Okay, so there is question in the chat box. Continuation of question discussion. If we get what we deserve and return for us, then what about promoted theory stories of below mentioned? It does influence many. That is positive thinking concept. Does it really work? And TED Talks show on how people overcome misfortune of any kind, etc. Rags to riches stories, and most important stories, people turned their fate. Okay, so is it against manifestation of good and bad karma? But we see it as personal victory. Second, okay. So first, this one is we see that we have some destiny, and there is karma is also not that a static kind of an entity. So we have our destiny, and then we have five factors of action that is there. So it is mentioned as adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha prutak vidam vividamsta pritak cheshta daivam chaivarta panchamam. Adhishtanam, the place of our existence, and tata karta is like we the living entity, we may have a desire to do certain things. And then adhishtanam tata karta karanam, our senses, we have different kinds of senses. Karanam cha pratak vidam vividam sa pratak cheshta, so the different kinds of endeavor that we take. And then daivam chaivartha panchamam, so the Lord's sanction. So all these things are there. These are five factors of any action. So now rags to riches, or people who actually come about and become a very like a powerful person and things like that. So they should also have that in their karma, and they should have endeavor towards it. If I have just have it in my karma, and then I'm not at all doing any endeavor towards it, so then probably I may not get that particular this one. So I need to have a particular level of endeavor towards it. So sometimes some things like come automatically, and some things requires a little endeavor also, right? So in this way, like these positive talks and things like that, it's like I would say, I've seen this schools. There are some nice schools which are there, which produces always children with flying colors, and they also give their testimony. You see, like our training is so nice and wonderful and things like that. So, and if you see the selection process, no selection process would be they'll have an entrance examination, and they will pick up intelligent students, and intelligent students will perform wonderful. No, they will give them training, and they will come out with flying colors. So now why don't they take any uh, like a dull-headed person and try to get the same output? It's not possible. No, it's not possible. It's not there in that person to bring about that kind of a achievement. So in the same way, here also people give positive talk. So many millions and thousands of people listen to it, but how many success stories comes out? No, only few actually get success stories, and rest all remain in the rags. No, they never become rich. So if those talks have such potency that anyone and everyone who hears to it can become rich, then we can say, okay, fine. So that is a different thing in parallel to karma, and it is in fact it is more powerful than the concept of karma. And people have found a workaround for the whole concept of karma. You do anything and everything, and then you listen to a TED talk, and you can become amazing. So this material world, especially speaking, these kind of talks and these kind of positive thinking and things like that, people who give such talks, many times they themselves are found to be in depression. So they themselves are found to be in deep negative thoughts also, right? So this three modes of nature is very, very powerful. A person who is favored a little bit, he thinks that I have got the formula. Now I will speak about this. And am I going to speak about this for free, or am I going to speak about this for welfare of people? No, I'm going to make money out of it. I'm going to say that, you see how I have succeeded in my life. See this, I can also train you. No, pay me for that. Right. So this is the way, like, it actually goes. So these positive thinkers, these nice speakers and things like that, they make a lot of money. And a few people who are fortunate enough and who also have some good karma, and they also get to do the same thing, and they also become rich. But then mass of the people have to be like poverty stricken, and have to face the their own karma and things like that. Some people who have some good karma, they can progress, they can actually come and do some very wonderful things like that, right? um, but we see personal victory, yeah, like it's basically because of their karma. If the positive talk has wiped off poverty, wiped off depression from the face of the earth, then we can say that, okay, they have succeeded. But no, more and more positive talks are coming out, and it is the depression, the cases of depressions and things like that are more and more increasing only. No, it is not decreasing. Okay, so how to over karmas, even good and bad. Devotional service, when we perform devotional service, all good and bad karmas will be wiped off. Hmm? So that's the way of finishing all the good and bad karmas. Okay, so Pooja Mataji can unmute and ask the second question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My second question is also on the same discussion, is that if we get what we want, so we see around that sometimes in life, everything is going good. For example, suppose I am in a good job, I have everything. And then, a thought overpowers me that, no, this is not what I'm born to do. I want to do something better. And I don't want this, I want that. And, we sometimes like, land up, leaving whatever good is happening with us, we land up with comparisons. And sometimes we land up in better things and sometimes we land up nowhere. So is it the three modes of nature which is working on us at that time? Or is it again, what you were explaining us, that what we get with minimal effort is what we deserve? And for whatever we have to take effort, it is again, things which are not working in our favor. Because I have, personally also faced this situation, and I have seen it with others also, that everything is going good, it is decent enough. But then I don't know, the desire for more or the desire for better, but what is better?
Yeah,
I
so
don't know whether my
it's
question is
it's
clear or
it's
not.
like, yeah, it's like what you deserve will be brought about, and your thought that, okay, probably this will be good, and what am I doing is like not good, and things like that. It's all influenced by three modes of nature, and it will take you to what you deserve.
Okay. So what I was having was good, but then again, the three modes of nature have played their role, overpowered me, and then I have landed on something else, which is sometimes nothing also.
First of all, thinking that what we had before is good is also bad only, and thinking that what we are now is also what we are now bad, is in a bad condition is also bad only, because nothing in the material world is good, or everything is bad only in this material world. Auspiciousness means to be able to think that I am caught up in this material world. No, it's like sometimes in the prison house, a prisoner is thinking that, okay, I am in a very good cell, and my food is very good and things like that and all. And suddenly he thinks that, oh, if I change to that cell, probably like, no, I'll have a better life. And he changes to that cell,
Yes, yes.
and there he
Yeah.
gets a bad
This is exact.
companion, and people are bullying him or beating him up and things like that and all. So what's the point? Like, no,
Yes.
which one was better? Both are
Yeah.
bad only. Like, both, he was in jail only, right? So he is not released. So this material nature, success is more dangerous than failure, because success puts a person in illusion. Success never allows him to think that he is in jail, and it doesn't give him an impetus to get out of the jail, right? So even a prisoner, sometimes it happens like this, and a person thinks that, I'm okay, I'm fine, like, the life in the jail is cool. What will I? In fact, sometimes prisoners get this also, this kind of idea also. If I am released now, where will I go out and get a job? What will I do, and how will I sustain, and things like that? Better I know everyone in this jail, and I know every nook and corner of this jail. Like, no, better I'll stay here only. No, so that kind of thought also sometimes comes to the prisoners. So that's what we are conditioned up to, and we think that, no, some better cell in the jail is okay, and no, now it is not okay, and things like that. If it is not okay, it is very, very good, because we will get an impetus to get out of this place, right? And what's the guarantee? If I get again good things, what's the guarantee that it will remain? In the past, it has gone. So Prahlad, when Narsinghadev offers Prahlad that, you have pleased me with your devotion, please ask me anything. No, I want to give you, I no, my hands are itching to give something to you. Like, please ask me. You want to be the king of this whole world, you want to have all the ashtasiddhis, you want to have all the opulences, I can just give it to you. So then Prahlad says, no, he says that, my lord, just now in front of my eyes, no, you have killed my father, no, who was having all these things, what you are promising me, or what you are alluring me to give. So alluring me, that I will give you all these things. I have seen it all. No, my father had everything, but in a moment's notice, everything is gone. No, what's the point? No, I don't want any of these things. I just want your service, which is always eternal, and I can be always safe in that kind of position. Right. So this is what Prahlad actually asks.
So, Prabhuji, how to handle the emotion? Like, suppose, to cut short, I had that 100 rupees yesterday and I felt, no, I deserve more, and we give that away. And then today I don't have it. And then there is no sign of having it tomorrow. You can, just change that 100 rupees to a job, to a house, to a family, to a husband, anybody, and then in the present situation you go through that emptiness, or being in the materialistic world, you start missing things, you start every
So,
time that things only keeps
basically, we
to
should
your mind. Yeah.
come to the point that this having 100 rupees is also a problem. With not having it is also problem. Not is a problem. So when you are having 100 rupees, you are not satisfied. You are thinking that something else is better, and we are not having. No, then also you are not satisfied. No, you are thinking something else is better. So the material thing, whether you have it or not have it, it is constantly a problem only.
So guilt and blaming self is not appropriate, right? We need to think that okay, that was also destined to be, the three modes overpowered me, and today also, or tomorrow also, what is bound to happen. And with devotional service or with sincere work, I can at least get
We
some
can
path towards things.
we can
Because guilt and questioning overpowers us. I think all of us in this forum would be going through different situations, and we tend to regret, I think, if in one word, if I put it.
see, if we think about it, we will always be feeling bad about it only. So we have to. That's why it is Krishna consciousness is very important. We have to divert our consciousness on the spiritual topics. That's why Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita second chapter, Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshana sukha dukkada agama payino anitya stham titikshvasva bharata. He says that Matra sparshastu kaunteya. This material world, there is so much of duality that is there. Matra sparshasta kaunteya, sita ushna. Sita means like cool, ushna means heat. Sita ushna, sukha dukkada. So sukha and dukkha are like cold and winter and summer seasons. They will keep coming and going. If you feel that when happiness comes, oh, I'm so nice, I'm very very nicely situated and things like that, I mean, I actually I think that I have achieved a lot. No, but the problem is it's like summer and winter season, it will keep changing. So happiness has to go, and distress, they also have to go, like summer and winter seasons. How it comes and goes, it has to go. So in that way, like if we become affected by these things, then we will never be peaceful. So Krishna says, Tam titikshvasva bharata. Happiness comes, don't rejoice, tolerate, because this is material world. No, in prison, there is some happiness is there, please tolerate. No, you have to get out of that place. And if in prison there is misery is there, please tolerate. You have to get out of that place, right? So that's the main thing. We have to get out of this place. We are not meant to settle down here and enjoy things. Even if we want to settle down here, we will be kicked out by death. We will be dragged out of this life. Any moment we can be dragged out of this life. We just step down and then somebody comes and hits us. A car just comes and runs over us. What's the point? Like, no, we are gone. We are finished. So that's the like this one nice Vaishnava poet, he writes, no, Kamala Dala Jala, Jivana Talamala. So Kamala Dala Jala means, Kamala Dala means like the leaf of a Kamala, that is lotus. In that water, no, it is tottering like anything. No, on a leaf of lotus. And in this way, the Jivana Talamala. So the life is on a tottering platform. We have hundreds of reasons why we can die at this moment. Just the roof above our head can fall, or just we can just slip off and fall down, and we step out and some vehicle comes and runs over us, and any number of reasons are there to like we can quit this body. But then we think 100 years down the line or 50 years down the line what will happen, and how great a situation I should be in. and how nicely I should be situated and how much property I should have and things like that and all. So this is the material illusion. This material illusion, till the time we possess, no, we'll be in tension. As you rightly mentioned the example, 100 rupees when you had, you were not satisfied, thinking that no, I can have something better. And when I lose it, then also I am not satisfied. So that is why, like, both happiness and distress in this material world is always a problem. Always we keep looking for something better and something better. So contentment is the ultimate, this one. No, I have got something what I deserve, and I should be content. No, today I have got some 1 crore of rupees. I should be content, saying that okay, fine, no, Lord wants me to have this. And tomorrow I don't have any penny. Okay, fine, no, Lord doesn't want me to have it. Anyway, it is Lord's property. It's not my property, anyways. If it is my property, then I have to worry. It's Lord's property. Lord's property, He can keep it in any place, right? So if he wants, he can keep it in um, keep it with me, or if he wants it, he can keep it with you. He can keep it with anyone. So how can I question, the transfer of Lord's property, right? So
I
that's
think comparison is also a problem in
yeah,
the
yeah.
world, materialistic world.
Comparison is a
Comparison is
big
one
problem.
of the major disease. Yeah, that's why contentment doesn't come, like what you just taught us, that there is scarcity of God consciousness. I think there is scarcity of contentment, but comparison is an abundance. So
Yeah, yeah.
from the time we
See,
are
if God
born, we are
consciousness is
comparing,
there,
comparing.
if God consciousness
Yeah.
is there, we will relish the treasure of God consciousness within our heart. So automatically contentment comes. Lack of God consciousness, we will have to compare, we will have to compete in this material world a lot. So that's the only.
Prabhuji, I had a similar question. Sorry, yeah, please. Please.
So we can never be satisfied in that way, like in this one. Okay, so we have come to 3 o'clock. I think we should close. We can take the questions tomorrow also, not a problem.
Yes,
Hmm? Okay.
yes, Prabhuji.
So
Yes.
Pushpa Mataji also has
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
question.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pushpa Mataji also has some questions, so we can discuss tomorrow. So, like, we will keep the time so that everyone can be. What is that? We can have a predictable schedule every day, right? So, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.